Coming up next.
The Glass House.
It will be good, oh yeah.
Ahead in the Glass House. After intensive testing for rat poison, Sizzler reopens its salad bars.
Beautiful.
G'day folks, welcome to the Glass House, the program that asks the question, does International Women's Day mean Warnie doesn't just go for the blonde chicks? More news than mirrors on the glass ceiling this week. The Prime Minister celebrated 10 years in the job with some contained, serious and sober parties around the country. John Howard has made the Australian electorate his bitch. That's why it feels like 70 in dog years. The PM declared he was humbled and a little surprised to have held the job for so long. He also said he was humbled by his surprise and surprised by his own humility. In fact, he's so humbled and surprised, he's realised he's been deeply in love with himself for years, but never had the courage to admit it. Howard was later seen having a few drinks with himself, catching a cab with himself and checking himself into a nearby hotel. According to Peter Costello, Australia should become the most female-friendly place on earth. It's part of his look at me, I have opinions too program. Costello can even see a time when we have a female Prime Minister. In fact, he's already started preparing for the operation. Kim Beazley called Nationals leader Mark Vaile the biggest problem for Australian farmers since the arrival of the rabbit. Apparently, Vaile has been breeding profusely and destroying valuable farmland with his furious burrowing. And just the other day, a bloke west of Goulburn woke up to find a couple of Vailes going at it on his porch. A new study found more Americans can name all 5 Simpsons than all 5 freedoms guaranteed by their Constitution. Well, maybe if the Constitution was shown 4 hours a day for 15 years, they'd learn it. When asked if she was able to name all 5 Simpsons, Jessica Simpson said, my left boob, my right boob, my front bum, and I give up twice. And in Washington, D.C., Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice demonstrated her exercise regime on TV. Promoting American foreign policy requires real fitness. It involves a lot of pushing shit uphill. But no matter how good that butt looks, she's still embarrassed by that bush. Congrats!
Terror news, Wil Layden. Documents captured by US forces in Afghanistan and Iraq have revealed that Al-Qaeda recruits actually sign employment contracts for carrying out jihad. And you thought Australian workplace agreements were tough. On the plus side, it's only a 12-month contract. After that expires, so do you. After 2 years, a married recruit and his family qualify for round-trip tickets to their country of origin. And not only will Al-Qaeda book your flight, they'll pack your bags. I'm amazed they get holidays. Wouldn't it be terrible if the next big terrorist action coincided with your 2-week break? Yeah, I'm sorry, Osama, I can't make it. I'm taking the kids camping. We've already rented the caravan. Al-Qaeda recruits also send thousands of letters to Osama every year, just like Santa. But when this bearded man climbs down your chimney, don't touch the stocking.
Hey, Hughes!
Very confused this week, very confused. Well, the thing is, I've got a ute full of uranium. And 3 days ago, I couldn't sell it to India. 2 days ago, I could, and yesterday, I couldn't again. What am I going to do with my uranium, Johnny? It's going off. I don't know if you know about this, but John Howard's just gone to India. Yeah, he's up in India. George Bush was up there last week, so Johnny followed him up there, yeah, because he can't get enough of that sweet bush slops. I don't know what's going on up there, honestly. And he wants to sell them uranium, but people are worried that they'll make bombs out of the uranium. I say let the Indians make bombs. It'd be funny. Should we bomb Pakistan? I don't know. That's a very bad accent. I'm ashamed of myself. Seriously, though, good on India having a go. I mean, everyone else can have bombs. Why not India? Seriously, they're great at making curry that explodes. So... Oh, I'm ashamed of myself again. No, but I mean, relax. No, whatever. Look, India is a booming new economy. Do you know that? We've just discovered India. Just discovered it. Johnny just realised it was there. I mean, we've only been surrounded by the Indian Ocean for a long time. What was on the other end of that, Johnny? India, dickhead.
All right, let's get to it. Joining me, Corrine and Dave, to throw some stones in the glass house tonight, the king of Australian rock and roll, Jimmy Barnes. And the queen of Australian television, Georgie Parker. All right, movers and shakers. First up, a professor of paediatrics from the University of Montreal says children are never more violent than between the ages of 2 and 4. So you only have to keep them drugged for a couple of years and everything will be okay. Professor Richard Tremblay says aggression isn't a bad habit we learn as we grow older. We're wired for it. This explains why babies poo themselves. They're scared of other babies. Maybe we should start recruiting 3-year-olds. An army full of violent tykes is exactly what this country needs. Just drop a truckload of toddlers in Afghanistan and tell them Osama promised them ice cream. Georgie, you promised us ice cream. Has your little one ever gone berserk?
Oh, well, yeah, but it's a rite of passage, I think. I certainly don't think it stops at 4, though. I'm terribly sorry to say.
How old is it now? It's still
I'm
violent?
still chucking tanties.
You are, yeah, and you're not 4, are you?
No, I am 4, but I've just got another number in there.
Oh, well, you're beautiful.
Can I take you?
That was all just a product of where you were brought up. You know, I'd be a serial killer, you know, because my father's a boxer, you know. So, by, you know, at 2 years old, I was used to seeing things get hit, you know.
Were you a violent 2-year-old?
No, I was, you know, keen on boxing. And then I let it put the boot in when I started to walk.
Did he used to shadow box you around the house?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. He never hit us. My mum was much more brutal than my dad. She was the best sparring partner in Glasgow, you know, and she was very tough.
What was her go? What, wooden spoon or...?
Put it this way, one time I laughed at her and she broke a snooker cue over my head.
How old were you?
2. No. No, I think I was about 12. And
12?
Yeah.
She went crack.
Yeah, crack. And she came home and sort of asked me to do something, you know, and I laughed at her, and she just went sort of... And so then I laughed more, because at that point in my life, I realised that if I actually cried, then my mum got satisfaction, but when I laughed, she sort of... And sort
What was she like at the dinner table? Eat your veggies or I'll glass you?
Yeah.
Did you have that voice when you were 10? Were you like, ah! When you were 10 years old?
It was something I developed.
That would have been great.
No, I developed it a bit. I was thrown out of choir because I stood out too much.
Why?
Really? Imagine you in a choir.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look.
Really beautiful. But you would have had a very clean choir voice, wouldn't you?
I was okay. I thought I was pretty good.
And you sing hymns? Do you sing like about Jesus and stuff?
Yeah.
Jesus!
I would love that. And at the end of the church service, you just ripped off your shirt and put the holy water over their head.
Thank you very much.
It was a wild... But the funny thing was, I was actually the quiet one in the family, so, you know.
Really?
In my family, I'm the quiet one.
No wonder your mother was hitting people over there with pool cues.
What about you, Georgie? What about, like with your kids? Are you a stern parent, or are you...
No, I think I am quite strict. I think I am.
Do you do things like that when she's, like, playing with her Barbies, you do the same thing, like play with your Logies?
Yes, I'm desperate to. Yeah, play with it.
They swap clothes. They swap clothes, put them on the Logie.
Did she bite? Has she been a biter?
She bit me once and she never did it again.
Did you file a teeth back? I would have filed a teeth back.
File the teeth back.
That is...
Jimmy's mum's at home going, wow, she's good.
Why didn't I think of that?
Our next movers and shakers are some of our greatest politicians. A few days ago, the Prime Minister gave a speech next to a sign that said, strong direction, mainstream values. And the Treasurer said migrants who don't share Australian values should be stripped of their citizenship. Yeah, Aussie values, like not knowing the words to the national anthem. Speaking English, but without all those annoying extra syllables. Liking Aboriginal art, but not Aborigines. Being able to claim Kiwis when they get really famous.
And then disown them again immediately afterwards.
And Scottish people too. Sporting heroes with skinny blonde wives. Hey, it's not Wayne Carey's fault he screwed someone else. They all look the same. Aussie values. A belief in every Aussie being a shareholder of things they used to own. A belief in everything Kerry Packer ever did. A belief in deporting foreigners unless they're really good at sport. Not Sharia laws, John laws. Not Muslim veils, Dana veil. Burqas are acceptable, but only for fat chicks. Aussie values. Dave, you rejoice because you're young and free. Have you got a favourite Australian value?
No, I haven't, and I am proud of that. I will defend my right to have no clue what Australian values are, and I never will, and my kids won't, and their kids won't either. Because we're Aussie and we don't give a shit.
What do you think of this push for Aussie value? Like, Barnes, you are the classic of an Aussie because we love adopting someone who was born overseas and then becoming an Aussie hero, yeah?
You're more
Well,
Aussie
you know, well,
than
listen,
us.
who's really... there's so many immigrants in this country, and everybody, you know, unless you are sort of, you know,
An
Aboriginal, you're a bloody immigrant of some sort. And all that crap about, you know, taking off your shoes and going to the mosque, and, you know, you don't like walking in socks. Give them a pair of fucking thongs. For Christ's sake, they're your Aussie values. Give them a pair of thongs. Hey, come on in. You know?
I think you should be the immigration minister.
Absolutely.
That actually should be the test. Someone comes to the country, they look at you and they go, Barnesy! Come on in.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard, you'll be fine.
The thing I like is Australians tend to go overseas. We export our Australian values. And when we go over there, we don't do what we're told in other countries. Especially our football teams. We like to export the, the values of getting blind and accosting
And vomiting
women.
on people. And
Yeah.
It is true though, you Aussie up so much, your voice even changes. You kind of like, here you're like, yes, I'll do that. And then the minute you overseas, you're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. Oh. You turn into Shannon Knoll for some reason.
I was in New York and the guy said, so, where are you from? And I said, well, where do you think I'm from? And he went, south. I said, we're south of where? You know, the south. I went, you think I'm from America? He had no idea. He went through England, he went through Norway, he went through Middle Europe, and I said, I'm from Australia. Where?
When I was in America, I did say, they said, we love your accent. And I said, well, I like your accent. And they went, we don't have an accent.
But I think it's sexy, which is great.
Really?
You know, I've got it in spades.
You score, do you?
I didn't score, but I was close.
But it's true, if the Aussie accent is sexy, then you are Barry White of this country. Our favourite mover and shaker this week is the Mayor of Las Vegas, who suggested a great new way to deal with people who deface the city with graffiti. Maybe you put them on TV and cut off a thumb. It's going to make it a lot harder for CSI to get prints. But Mayor Oscar Goodman's plan doesn't stop there. Shoplifters will lose a hand, peeping Toms lose their eyes, and flashers won't be doing it again. And how do you punish an 11-time repeat offender? Jimmy, you're one tough customer. Do you like to see thumbs chopped off on television?
I think it's a tad extreme. You know, a little bit extreme. I think, you know, the only good point that it's got is I reckon they could probably start like a sort of a donor system, you know, happening for all those people who've lost thumbs.
Oh, there's thousands of them.
They're going to be sort of rushed.
common-
You from enter an icebox, you know, and sit straight off to sort
Do
of...
you guys find graffiti? You find graffiti obscene, do you, Georgie?
No.
You don't?
No, I mean,
Oh,
it's, I think, look, really, graffiti is annoying more than anything.
Well, it's very annoying, though. If it's on
Very
your
annoying.
wall.
If it was on your wall, it would be annoying.
Well, it is. I've got some on my wall.
Have you?
What does it say? Is it about you?
It just says
what
rubbish.
does it
It's just,
say?
I don't know, it's someone's signature. And, like, you know, he just wants attention, and I'm giving it to him right now.
When Cold Chisel first started, you know, in 1973, we couldn't get arrested, you know, which happened for quite a few years, actually. But that's another story. But we're in Adelaide, and we didn't have any money to make posters. We're trying to get our name around, so we came up with this wise idea, me and one of the roadies, that we'd go out at night and just graffiti the bloody name of the band all over the place. On the way back home, you know, it's like sort of 5 in the morning, you know, having a cigarette, you know, feeling pretty content. We've done a good job. We're about 3 miles from where we live. And we spot this as a main road, and there's a beautiful fence like that there. So we go up and write Cold Chisel on the bloody fence, right? Go home, go to sleep. The guy knew the band, knew where we lived, and we woke up at lunchtime, and he'd written Frank on the side of the truck. I tell you, it's a true story. It's fantastic. The other thing is, like, seriously, how are you going to mess up, you know, Las Vegas? Has anybody been to Las Vegas? It's like, you know, it looks fantastic until they turn the lights on, you know?
No, you're right about Las Vegas, because, I mean, it does have... There's a replica of, like, you know, the Eiffel Tower, of the pyramids, of, like, New York. There's hookers on the street, like, you know, and they're going, yes, graffiti will make this place look tacky.
The thing I liked about that mayor was the mayor was saying that, you know, because we've got lovely desert here and tortoises, and then the graffiti artists come in. I'm thinking, are they graffitiing the tortoises?
The tortoises, yeah.
Well, why did he mention tortoises?
Did you see any tortoises when you were in there?
I never seen any tortoises. No, there was a couple of blokes moving particularly slow. Well, that was very late as well. They just left the hookers, I think.
I didn't think tortoises lived in the desert.
It's a great haven, like a hangout for tortoises in the desert.
Or you know, what's the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? You tell us, because you're clever, aren't you?
I'm very clever. With a capital K. A tortoise and a turtle, who cares?
Yeah, you do have every show on TV at the moment, though, do you? I saw you on the show the other night. Well, you're on this now. Are you on every channel?
Would you do an experiment on us?
Oh, we wouldn't be able to televise it.
What would you do to Will? What could you do to him?
Remove a thumb. Or something else.
There's no need to be like that, Georgie. It's fine. You could spray paint it gold and call it another Logie.
Gold finger.
Mummy, why is this Logie wearing a skivvy?
Your cat would like it.
Okay, I love doing this show with you, Georgie, because sometimes it's like doing a show with Salvador Dali. You just say...
She's going to explain the cat thing to me.
He told me his cat
Whisper.
sleeps on his groin.
Oh.
Okay, that was a private conversation we were having, Georgie.
Now, is that an accident, or did you train it to do that?
Is this why... Are you nude at the time, or is...
This is what I was explaining to Georgie, is that...
I mean, Jimmy's seen everything, and he's...
I'm flabbergasted.
Well, I was explaining to Georgie that the cat... Did you just snort like a pig?
Sorry. Yeah.
Why were you explaining to Georgie? How did this come up in conversation? By the way, Georgie, my cat...
Yeah, we were talking about my cat, and I was saying that in the middle of the night, he likes to sleep on top of me, and he always goes for the warmest part of your body. So you wake up in the morning and you have a
cat going cowboy.
A cat on the... Yeah, I'm doing a little Brokeback Mountain sleep.
You could sleep on your stomach. You're choosing to sleep on your back.
The cat rolls him over.
It's kind
Excuse me, I'm trying to sleep here.
I go to bed and there's a penis. I wake up, there's a pussy. It's kind of like reverse crying game. But... No, I was just saying that in the middle of the night, like...
Oh, you've said enough, Will. You've said enough.
If I go to bed naked, if for some reason I've been naked, just in case.
We don't need
Let's
to
not think about that too much. I always have to remember at night to put on some clothes because the cat will end up on... That was the point I was trying to make to Georgie.
You wouldn't want to wake up and see the cat dancing around a maypole.
With a couple of his mates.
Or using a scratching post. It rests in the groin area.
Pass me another
You
kipper,
know
would
like
you?
those magicians who had the poles with the plates on top? You lying on the bed with the cat spinning.
I think it's just
How many have you got, Corrine?
He's got 2 cats.
Do you have 2 cats?
2 cats.
What, do they share, or is it
a menagerie à trois?
Has the one cat told the other cat about what's going on?
It's not like I want the cat to be there, Dave. It's not like at night I put some, like, you know, some food.
What, so the cat overpowers you?
I'm asleep.
I know you're asleep,
Well, we don't have time for any more show. Remember Las Vegas and the thumbs? Thanks for coming on, Georgie.
Pleasure, always.
I hope you've enjoyed your last time.
And take your mates with you.
Yeah, his cat's going to be on the next show.
It's getting its own show.
Later in the Glass House, ALP hardman Warren Snowden outlines the kind of new blood Labor is looking for.
Stand-over merchants, thugs and other sleazebags.
Kim Beazley complains to the Prime Minister that the other MPs won't stop teasing him.
Why doesn't he do something about it?
And John Howard sums up 10 years in office.
I don't have anything further to offer.
Time to stroll the red carpet with the Bri Unwash. Has anyone got a story from the week they'd like us to talk about? Oh, lots of people. OK, beauty, come over here. Yes, mate.
What about the Cross-City Tunnel? They're half the prices and still no one wants to use it.
Oh, yeah, the Sydney Cross-City Tunnel, Georgie. Are you a fan?
I don't know, you know, it's all a big mistake. And closing all those roads to make people, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but it's a road. Can't they just use it and that?
I've driven through there at Pico, and you could play cricket down there.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Hello.
But I like to tell people that Melbourne, we have tunnels as well, and we have tolls and stuff, and I didn't have an e-tag for a long time.
Yes.
And
a $5 million bill.
Well, it was about $5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but you know what? Never paid it.
I think it will be now.
Anyone else?
What do you guys think about the older people found dead in their apartments?
Oh, that hilarious comedy topic. There's been a lot of old people found dead in their apartments that...
Well, no wonder our ratings are suffering. Is all...
I don't know if we can touch that one. It could be worse. It could be finding other people's apartments, you know. And then you'd be waking up and go, how did they get in here, you know?
If you haven't seen an old person for a while, go visit them.
Yeah.
Because they may be dead.
Or they could be running the country, you know. Who knows?
Here we go. Oh, all right, we'll go over here, eh? Sorry, I can't run very well. I've had a cat on my groin all night.
What are your thoughts on the Oscars?
Oh, I might come back and talk about this, but Corrine, I know you love the Oscars.
You know what? I thought Jon Stewart did a great job.
I think it was fantastic.
The bit that it creeps me out every year is the in memoriam bit. So, you know, they're going through all the people who died that year. That should be silent because people start applauding for the people they know. So it's some producer, only a few people know, somebody who was a 1920s film, hey, Mr. Miyagi! It's like, you know, the most popular dead person.
Well, you don't know why they're clapping. They might be clapping because they wanted them dead, you know? I was just freaked out by the amount of plastic surgery people are having.
Oh man, Dolly.
God, Dolly Parton.
Dolly was going off.
She looks like the Joker from Batman.
I might be wrong, but there's a lot of really good-looking girls there too. Like Salma Hayek, you know.
Yeah.
A gorgeous girl, but why the hell would they put Salma Hayek on TV where they have this dress that makes one boob really small and one really big?
It looked like she was so weird. Sideways.
It was the weirdest thing. I'm one of the best-looking women in the world, and they just destroyed her.
And you wanted...
I wanted to go and straighten her up.
You are, Jimmy. You're selfless, you know?
Man after my own heart.
it's time to award the covered glasshouse trophy, which this week is called... And the winner of the AWB Memorial Mysterious Brown envelope comes from Florida, where a teacher has quit his job after it was discovered he'd let children miss his class if they paid him $1. School authorities started to get suspicious when gym teacher Terence Braxton had an FPOS machine installed on the pommel horse. But do you even need to be a teacher to work this scam? Couldn't you just stand in the corridor and collect money? The kids don't go to class. How do they know what the teacher looks like? So the trophy goes to Terence. Teacher wants to bribe Braxton. He quit after the principal found out about the scheme and is living off his savings, but says if money gets tight, he may consider going back to not teaching. Well, that's the way it is for Wednesday, March the 8th. Thank you, Georgie. Thank you, Jimmy. And let's take a look at tomorrow's headlines. In the Tizer, a poll says Australia is a racist nation. Costello says, why don't you piss off back to Poland? The Age has Simon Crean fights for his seat, caught off guard when the music stopped. From the Sydney Morning Herald, gay cowboys featuring Mardi Gras. Dykes on bikes followed by puffs on hoofs. And in the New York Times, Guantanamo Bay sets dangerous precedent. No, I'm the precedent, says Bush. Good night.
Join us for more laughs on Friday when the award-winning Chaser team reload and take aim at their comedy targets in The Chasers' War on Everything. 9:45 Friday night on ABC.